All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, welcome to the Uncut Podcast with me, your co-host, Jake Oelke, and
Ryse CEO Nick Stella.
So we wanted to start this podcast because we talk a whole lot about Ryse. Everything we do, our social medias are all about Ryse.
Pretty much exclusively.
Yeah. So we want to kind of bring to you our business, the business side of it, the work side, the lifestyle side, go into a little more about the business side of it.
Yeah. I would say about 50% of the questions I get asked in my DMs are business and personal.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to start answering those. Help other people too.
Yeah. And I'm brand new to business, all this entrepreneurship. I'm still about to turn 22 years old. And I think it's going to be a good dynamic just because you have the experience. I can still learn all about that kind of stuff. Oh, wow. This thing's right in my face. All right. So okay. First question I want to ask you. What is your favorite memory right now about building any company that you've had?
Oh boy.
Because I know you've had so you can go through the list of your companies.
So you guys that don't know, this is not Ryse is my recent company. I had another company before this called Fit Life Fashion. Grew that pretty rapidly and pretty quick. Yeah. And then I sold it to start Ryse. I've had other companies in the past, nothing as big or significant as Ryse or even Fit Life, but I'm a big believer on focusing on one business. I see a lot of people out there that have 12 different businesses, and if you split focus, you're not going to be as successful at your one. Yeah. So I know that's off topic, but best memory. Fuck.
Did you? We were talking in the car. Actually, one of the first times that I met you about you did freelance work before, actually starting Fit Life, right? Yeah. So what was kind of your freelance background?
Yeah, I got my degree in social media marketing and website development. So I was a big wrestler too. So I was coaching wrestling in a upscale neighborhood, and I got a job as a website developer. And all the dads found out, and they're all business entrepreneurs. So they all came to me, and they're like, hey, can you build my website? Yeah. So I was making more building websites than I was at my job. Yeah. And at that point, I was just like, man.
What were you doing for work at the time?
Website developer.
Oh, okay.
The beauty of that is I worked for a really big company that wanted to focus on social media. So I got to spend a shit ton of this guy's money. Yeah. And successfully grow his business. So a lot of times people, maybe even yourself, try to run ads or try to figure out marketing, but you don't have a budget. Yeah. So it's really hard to figure out. Yeah. Yeah. And I had a $100,000 a month budget right out the gate. So I figured it out really quick. Yeah. So a lot of people don't have that luxury, but I was given that luxury, and I was building a bunch of websites. So my websites got really good. My marketing got really good. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a marketing agency. Okay. Stella Media Group, which I still have. Yeah. Now it's more of my holding company. I just put all my money in there. But at the time, it was a big marketing agency. Yeah. And I approached a bunch of different people, and I would just tell people straight up, hey, your marketing sucks. Let me help you. Because I had crazy results. So I started helping a bunch of people, and I went to this company called Shreds. I don't know if you know Shreds.
I think I do.
Half the people might know it, half might not. They were a big social media marketing company in Instagram days before the algorithm changed. So I moved down there, and then I started Fit Life at the same time. And I was like, man, I can do this on my own. Why am I making other people money? And that was and I was getting paid well there. But I was like, I don't like working for anybody. So moved my family back, and then went headfirst into Fit Life.
Yeah. Initially, when you were going to college and stuff, did you want to do your major in social media marketing? Was that your initial major?
No. Because I was like many of you guys, probably didn't know what I wanted to do.
Exactly. I've changed it 3 times now.
Yeah. So I ended up taking 30 hours my last semester, like unheard of. Yeah, I did like courses in weeks to get my degree. But in high school, I did a lot of like basic HTML, which is website code. And I really liked it. But the overall thing I wanted to do was be a cop, police officer. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, I'm really good at this website development, kind of good at Photoshop. Like, it'll be the easiest thing for me to graduate. And if I can't be a police officer, I got to fall back with my business degree / website marketing, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how it worked for me.
Yeah. So what was the kind of time frame you were going around in college? Like as what? In like, was Facebook popping at the time, or so
like it just started?
Yeah.
Thanks for making me feel old. Yeah, it just started. So it was more like heavy on InDesign, Photoshop.
Have you used InDesign in a minute? No.
I mean, I haven't developed or created any assets in a fucking long time now, probably since that Ryse logo up there. Yeah. And I didn't even create it. Justin created it. I just took the R out and the E's. Yeah. But no. But it was more dependent on that. But yes, Facebook was around. And actually, I hated social media.
Really?
Hated it. So my first job, the guy made me get a Facebook. Wow. Well, he didn't make me, but you have to have a Facebook page to be on a Facebook business. Yeah. At least back then you did. Yeah. So I had to remake my Facebook. I actually deleted it for a while. And that's kind of how I got back into it.
Wow. Yeah. So initially, did Facebook kind of have the same algorithm as, I guess, like TikTok now?
No, but Instagram did. Mm-hmm. And I remember Shreds was like the first company to do influencer marketing. And my business partner at the time, Ryan Needle, called me and he's like, hey, man, check out this business on Instagram. I'm like, what's Instagram? And it was like right when it just started. And they had no algorithm at all. It was actually probably better than the TikTok algorithm. Really? So you're doing these things called shouts, shout for shout. So you'd like post each other on the page to follow it. Yeah. So you could gain and there was it was in chronological order.
Yeah, so I remember when it was.
That? Yeah. So you could gain a shit ton of followers really quick because everybody would see it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was how we grew. And I grew my FitLife page to 100,000 followers in 3 months. Wow. Which now, how hard we're at 124,000 on Ryse, and it took 4 years. Yeah. So it's a little bit different. But
it's a lot harder now.
A lot harder.
How fast when TikTok initially started, was that something that you were like, I need to get on this? Because I see kind
from
of...
a Ryse perspective?
Yeah, from a Ryse perspective.
Hated TikTok.
You did? Why is that?
I thought it was a bunch of kids dancing. And I think that's where a lot of business owners have gone wrong. Mm-hmm. But I also think there's a dynamic shift from when it was going to get banned in the U.S. Yeah. I feel like there's a shift when a U.S. company bought it that it moved into a more mainstream app. Okay. I feel like before that, though, it wasn't as mainstream. Yeah. That's just my opinion, but...
Yeah, me first starting out on TikTok, I actually thought, I was like, it's just like you're kind of a fuckboy if you're on TikTok and stuff. And then one summer, I was actually down in Frisco for a concert or something before I even worked out. I was like, you know what? I think I could get famous on TikTok, or at least I could get a good number of following on TikTok. And so I started for the longest time, did not post a thing about fitness. It was just
dances and
no, not dances or anything. It's just stuff that I thought was funny. So I started that, and then I posted a fitness video. It did pretty well because I was at that time later. I think it was around probably around quarantine. It just fitness picked up.
Quarantine's when that's when that shift happened halfway through quarantine. And I think I had a business partner that isn't with us anymore, but he started posting on our TikTok, and he's like, oh, any eyeballs are, free eyeballs, any eyeballs are good. I was like, yeah, you're right, but you're posting some horrible content. So I'm a huge content freak, that. Very particular about what we post. So I made him stop. And I think what a lot of people in a lot of these businesses don't understand is there's a certain way to use the algorithm and grow on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, we've done a really good job.
I think we have.
Yeah. And I think that's missed by a lot of people. And I think we've positioned ourselves very well at being professional and good content. Of course, we have our funny ones and then get banned for a few weeks, but
it happens.
We learn from it and we don't do it again. But you know, I feel like we're like an anomaly in the supplement space.
Oh, 100%. Because I've seen like even bigger brands on TikTok, and I don't think they have the same social media pool as.
And that's the thing. I think they don't know what to do or how to do it.
Yeah. I think a lot of brands also don't spend the money that they need to prevent or produce professional content. I think that's a big part of it.
So the reason I brought that up is to go back to like your question about like, did I want to get on TikTok right away? I did when that shift happened, but I didn't know how to. So I'm glad, you know, and then I brought you guys in, Dawson first, and really started to kind of like figure it out. I'm not going to give away our secrets on here, obviously, for any business owners watching, but there's a certain way to do it and there's a way not to do it. Yeah. And I don't like a lot of these companies doing it the wrong way, but I do like us doing it the right way.
Yeah. And I think, I don't think people realize how much content that we actually produce.
It's obviously a full-time job.
Obviously a full-time job. And there's just like so many like videos that, I mean, we even have right now that people just don't know that we film. And I was, there was someone in here the other day, and he's also a videographer. He was after you left, but he asked me.
That guy?
Yeah. He asked me, how many videos did I produce that day? I was like, I don't know, probably like 8 or 10. And then I showed him like the quality of the video, and he was like, you produce 8 or 10 of those a day? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you just get used to it.
Yeah. And well, it's like you have a plan too. Like a lot of these other guys, I feel like we have specific things that we're shooting for and going for, and then a lot of people don't. Yeah. They just kind of shoot to shoot. They're like, oh, we're in the gym, let's shoot.
And we're constantly bringing each other ideas, which is a huge part of like, because if I was only coming up with ideas, we'd only have so many videos. But since the back and forth, we just use that, execute, and create it. Yep. So the next topic that I have is, was there ever a time when you were like starting all your businesses or just working and realized that you truly love business and what you're doing?
Yeah. I think it's the time where you almost fail.
Yeah.
That you realize you really love it. Ryse has been great, but we've almost failed before. Yeah. I mean, it's always, you know, I was self-funded. We haven't taken any investments. Yeah. I funded the whole thing. Me and my partner, who's now bought out. We hit like a rock bottom because of other partners in the company. And I almost gave up. Yeah. And I think at that moment when I decided not to give up is when I realized how much
you love it.
I wanted to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people look at rock bottoms really negatively. And if you do that, you're going to fail like bad. Yeah. Like really bad. But that's also why I talk about focus on one thing. Don't spread yourself too thin. You've probably seen it. There's a lot of people that like start new companies like every week. Yeah. And it's like, all right, or new pieces of clothing or this or that. And it's like, if you don't really focus on a brand and why you're doing it, it's not going to work. Yeah. So I think when we really figured out the brand ethos behind Ryse is when I really started to love it.
Yeah. There's a story I want to tell you there. Speaking of like rock bottom, there was a time, I think back in like December, and I was like full blown content. I just didn't want to do anything else. And so I dropped pre-orders on merch, and I actually funded a whole merch drop no, I didn't fund it. I bought all the merch before, so I had it. And I realized it was the end of the month, so all my bills needed to be paid. I checked my bank account, and there was $12 in my whole bank account. I was like, wow, yeah, I have to sell this merch. Speaking of like very, very close to rock bottom.
Did you sell it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And I paid all my bills.
Attaboy.
It was a time.
I think that's the thing. Like if you can find ways to make it happen if you want to.
Yeah, you definitely can.
But you got to be committed. Mm-hmm. You got to know what you're trying to do, and it's not always going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me that a lot with like videos we make. We'll have like a hot streak, and then we'll like have a horribly cold streak. And if you believe in the process and you keep doing it, and I hear that's very cliche to say, but
yeah,
your process. If you believe in your process and you keep doing it, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
If you've seen it work before. Mm-hmm. Don't always shift focus. Like always try to perfect what's working.
Yeah. And we have like one thing that like I see with our content, at least like right now, there is not a whole lot of TikTok creators who can match it.
No.
And the ones who do aren't in the fitness industry, or they have a production team behind them.
We're also starting late. We're doing really well for being this late, and that's another thing. Like if you're just starting, like good luck.
Yeah.
But for how late we started, I think we're breaking in very well.
When did Ryse's TikTok actually start?
Kind of like when you joined. When was that?
February-ish.
So maybe January.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's all this year too.
Yeah, just this year.
Wow.
And mostly our page doesn't do as well, but my page has done really well.
Your page is, from the time that I've started, 3 months.
Doubled.
What have we doubled?
20,000 followers.
Yeah.
All Ryse posts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
that's one thing that like we got to stick to, because we'll say this now, it's going to be unheard of when we focus on one thing. And
that's one thing too. I would rather have 30,000 followers that want to follow Ryse than 3 million and 10,000 of them want to follow Ryse.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we focus on, which I think separates us, is brand heavy. Mm-hmm. Everything we do is brand versus, hey, I think we go make a funny viral TikTok with nothing to do with our brand. Mm-hmm. Like, it's great, but you're going to get a bunch of followers that don't even know what Ryse is or cares about Ryse, or what's the point of that?
And especially on like TikTok.
Yeah. Cause
yeah, there's,
soon they're coming out with stories.
Yeah. That's going to be awesome.
So you look at like the percentage, like we could go pull up that one that just got, 50,000 views. What do you think the percentage of my followers that actually saw that? Probably not that high.
Probably not super high. Probably, what is it, like a usual 10%?
Yeah, which is not good.
Yeah. I don't think 10% of the followers.
Let's take a peek.
We'll see that.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm so excited about stories.
Because people are going to be constantly watching them.
Yeah, now we can put it in front of them.
Especially like creators that they already follow. I know there's some creators out there. Actually,
like this video, only 2,000 of my followers saw it.
Yeah.
Like that's
not anything. What percentage is that? Like,
I'm 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Imagine when we got stories up there, it'll be.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of creators. Actually, I told one of my buddies this one time. He said, I want to make viral TikToks, and when I get big enough, I'll do what I want to do.
Doesn't work.
And I said, dude, that's not going to work, because they're not following you for what you want to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Say you got a hunting page and you're posting shaking your butt or whatever it may be. I don't know, whatever these trends are. And you're posting hunting after.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck did I follow?
No one's going to follow the hunting.
No.
I think that's one of the reasons for my personal TikTok, because I made that switch in like around December that I was going to post
Just fitness?
No, not just fitness. Post what I want to post. It doesn't always have to be fitness, but it has to be something that I love. And I think that's why my follower conversion is pretty stinking good, and the amount of loyal followers that I have, because they don't like me just for only fitness. They like me for me. And I think there's a lot of, there's a lot of creators out there who will post not what they want to post, and then their followers will be accustomed to that.
Oh, yeah.
And then like they won't convert when they want them to convert.
Yeah, it's the number one thing you hear is like, oh, it's going to get a lot of views.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well.
Who gives a shit about the views?
What's the purpose behind it?
Mm-hmm.
It's what I asked myself before.
Yeah.
Well, we ask ourselves that too, but we purpose first.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Since I'm still pretty young, and you're like, you have a family.
Since I'm old.
Okay, I didn't want to say it like that.
Older, yeah.
Older.
If you guys don't know, I'm 31.
Yeah. Every time I ask him, though, his age goes down a number.
29.
29.
No, 31. Yep.
So you have a family, kids. How do you juggle working and family life?
Well, it's been very hard lately, but I've really worn myself down. It showed this week.
Yeah. If you didn't know, Nick's sick, by the way, while we're filming this podcast.
Yeah, I was down bad. And I don't really get sick often.
Yeah.
But what I do is I wake up early, take my kids to school. My kids come up here. Mm-hmm. So I let my wife work out so I can see my kids a little bit. But then I start working again when I put them to sleep at 9. Mm-hmm. And that's the hardest part, because I neglect my wife quite a bit, but it's just taxing on your body.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. So like getting home, hanging out with them, and then working more, it's not good, but
not a whole lot of sleep goes on here.
So I don't sleep much. That's kind of the nitty of it.
Yeah, we were talking about that TikTok comment that I got the other day.
Yeah.
Where I said I have like a couple days where I work 14 hours, and they were like, oh, so like an hour to eat, hour to like wake up and stuff. How are you getting 8 hours? I said, dude, you think I'm getting 8 hours of sleep?
I think that too. We're really good. I'm really good, especially on multitasking. Like, you don't see me go take an hour lunch. There's a lot of like business owners, they go to like lunch and sit down.
Go play golf.
Yeah, like when I'm here, I'm here. Mm-hmm. You know, we work.
Yeah.
Even when we're working out, we're shooting content.
Mm-hmm.
So like every minute we make count.
Yeah.
So the 8 to 10 hours I'm here, it's a fucking 8 to 10 hours of work. Mm-hmm. It's not like 6 hours, took an hour lunch break, pooped for an hour. Like I get that out, and I'm,
That's what happens. That's what I've seen happen when like people go remote too, like remote work.
I hate remote work.
Yeah, I hate remote work too.
It doesn't work. Like people are 100% not working as hard as they are when they're in our office.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, they're here. They have a responsibility. If they're at home, no one can really check on them. Not saying anything about the person. Like, yes, you do lose energy. A lot of energy.
You have a really good energy when you're here. Mm-hmm. Versus on your couch with your cat or dog.
Exactly. So another tip or another question that I have for you. How did it feel? You said when you were at rock bottom, when you came up and closed like a really big deal, did you ever think about that moment again?
Yeah. But there is this quote that stuck with me recently where
I'm going to go restart you can keep talking.
Okay. There's a quote that stuck with me recently that basically there's, how do I put it? There's like almost a glass half full, and in a pool, say, and the pool gets bigger, but the glass doesn't get full more.
Yeah.
So no matter how big you get, you always feel not fulfilled.
Proud but never satisfied?
Yeah, and that's something I've been running into lately. When I figure it out, I'll tell you guys. how I figured it out. But we are a really large company. It's not just what you see on TikTok. Like, we're one of the top 4 brands in Vitamin Shop. We're in 26 countries. We're distributed nationwide. We're really big, and I haven't been able to like grasp it yet.
Yeah, because you just like want to be even bigger because I don't know, you just want to.
Yeah, I just want to stay humble though. Like, I don't want it to get to me.
Because I know you're competitive.
I'm very competitive, but I don't want it to get to my head.
Yeah,
like a lot of people. I want to stay feeling like we're at rock bottom. Because I feel like that's how you keep growing.
I think it's a big motivator too.
Yeah.
Like if you think, I heard, who was it? I think Justin Graphics posted on his story once. He said the people, it was something about like when people say they don't have money, but I mean, they have a job, they just don't want to spend the money because they're like saving. That's like a really good thing to have because you don't want to, I don't know, I'm trying to put that into words, but hopefully.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you got what I'm saying. Hopefully the viewers do too.
Yeah. No, that's right. And don't let anything get your head. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Big advice I have for you is like save when we're talking about money, save wisely. I've seen a lot of companies where their owners will take a bunch of money. Yeah. And instead of us doing that, I'm probably one of the lowest paid CEOs for where we are at revenue wise. But I invest a lot back into here, like podcast rooms, gyms, 23,000 square foot facilities. Yeah. That's what's our brand ethos. Did you see the post I posted yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
That's more important to me than driving around in a Ferrari.
Yeah. Same here.
So,
I mean, yeah.
That's a big thing. And I told you on your podcast, I didn't pay myself for
3 years?
Year and a half.
Oh, year and a half.
Like not a cent.
Yeah.
And then I was paying myself like $50,000 after that, which guys, that's CEO of a multi-million dollar supplement company. That's not a lot.
That is not a lot.
No. Of course I get more now because we've saved and grown comfortable and we're still self-funded. We have no loans. Yeah. But yeah, save.
What's your biggest motivator for wanting to like keep growing businesses?
Aside from my family and stability, I'm a big like power guy. So you talked about like competition. Yeah. I just like to be like the biggest brand. I like getting these licenses. I like having walls and towers and Vitamin Shop nationwide. Yeah. I like seeing the brand grow and being on a worldwide stage. I mean, that just comes from wrestling. Like I loved competing in front of people too. Like I love that feeling.
That's awesome.
So winning. Yeah. I want to win.
Yeah. Do you want to go into any other ideas you have in the future?
Not yet. Let's keep this not too Ryse branded.
Huh? No.
Oh, business ideas? Yeah. So
what would be your ultimate?
When I sell?
Yeah. What would be your ultimate goal?
Obviously, I want to sell the brand. I don't know when. But, that time's already been presented to me, but I haven't taken it yet. Yeah. Just because I love it. But I really want to get into some kind of liquor. Yeah. Not that I'm a heavy drinker, but I love the space. Like, if you look at liquor brands, they're really heavily branded. And me and you both love branding. Yeah. So it's like something I really think we can get into and have fun with. Yeah. And yes, I drink occasionally. Yeah. And we
don't work all the time.
Yeah. It's just that next level up too. Like, supplement companies can be millions, hundreds of millions, but liquor brands can be billions.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I want to get into a next category up.
Yeah.
Especially with selling the company, I should
be able to. Yeah.
So that's the plan.
That's the goal. So
making me sick.
What do you have? What do you have, or like what advice do you have for like closing out this podcast? What advice do you have for like people wanting to start a business?
Don't rush it, and don't start a business just because you want to start a business. Like, make sure it's something you love.
Yeah.
So Ryse is something I carry every day, and my family lives it and loves it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't love it, you're not going to be able to do it every single day.
Exactly.
So make sure it's something you want to wake up every morning, because it's not going to be pleasant. Like, how many times am I yelling in my office? Like, guys, it's not all rainbows, and I'm not like sitting here loving what I do every second of the day. So make sure you love it, because when you're at that rock bottom, like we were talking about, you're not going to get out of it.
Yeah.
So if you don't love it, don't do it.
Like it. Love it.
That's it.
You know what you want to know the second I knew that I was like truly in Ryse?
Let's hear that.
So Dallas Europa, I thought about this the other day. Dallas Europa, it was ending, and I knew I had to go back to Denton. On the drive home, I was like, I don't think I would do this for another brand. It was 1:30 in the morning, knowing
We
good
were
and well,
shot after that.
knowing good and well I had to be back in Dallas at 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah. And like I had an 8, and I was like, I would not do this for a brand or like something that I didn't believe in. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I am Jake Oelke.
Ryse CEO Nick Stella.
Ryse CEO Nick Stella.
Always going to plug social.
This has been the Uncut Podcast with us two. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. We plan on having more guests, not just us two the whole time. Make sure to like, subscribe wherever this podcast is going to be at. And we will see you next time.